The Ironworks engineers are still at work dismantling the sapphire weapon and investigating the Turncliffe Magitek facility. Though they have yet to make their report, they may have some news to share at this juncture. Please wait here for a moment. We've yet to finish our investigation, but I can give you a preliminary report. Were you able to recover anything of note? Before abandoning the facility, they'd attempted to destroy anything they couldn't afford to take with them, including many of their research materials. Luckily, some information relating to the sapphire weapon combat data was intact. Judging by what we saw during the battle, it was extracted from Regulus van Hedrus, correct? It also appears that the sapphire weapon was actually in an incomplete state and therefore unable to perform at full capacity. Even so, it was immensely powerful. Had they been given the chance to finish it, it would have arrived. Who knows how it would have ended? Before we'd arrived, who knows how it would have ended? Indeed, we may not be so fortunate next time, so we must prepare for the worst. The Ironworks will continue the investigation to investigate the sapphire weapon and look into possible countermeasures. The echo afforded you a glimpse into the conversation between Recon and Rex prior to the weapon's deployment. Do you remember any other detail? Improvements were made to the synthetic RSite system to prevent malfunction. Then it was never their intent to create a manifestation of Nilbandarness, but there was one thing that was intended. Oversoul. Its activation results in the pilot being absorbed by the core, killing them in the process. Rex and Recon were fully aware of this, were they not? Then the death of the pilot was by design all along. Alphonse, how could you, sacrificing your own siblings to fuel these accursed war machines? Severa, surely there is no cost worth paying such a price. Valdolin, aye, nothing is more precious than family. Gaius, this nightmare is far from over. It appears that Rex has fled with the remaining weapons, and we can assume that Alphonse has every intention of sending them into battle. We must find a way to disable them before Oversoul can be activated. I have seen enough death. I do not wish to see any more. Valdolin, then there is no time to waste. Let's be about it, Gaius. Severa, you're in charge here. Keep Sid and his team safe while they carry out the investigation. Understood. Please see that no harm comes to Gaius. While we're gone, I need you to relay everything to the resistance troops. Your first-hand account should be useful. If there are any developments, we'll be sure to contact you. Ironwood's technician. This lift leads down to the storage area where the weapons were kept. Unfortunately, the Imperials didn't leave an awful lot behind for us to investigate, but they did give us a place to carry out maintenance on the G-Warrior. In fact, I can take you down there for a closer look if you're interested. Take me. Ask about the G-Warrior. Inspect the G-Warrior's head. Inspect the G-Warrior's arms. Inspect the G-Warrior's boot. Climb onto G-Warrior's shoulder. Stand by the G-Warrior. Climb onto the shoulder. Yes. No. Okay. Stand by the G-Warrior. Oh. Nice. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Ask about the G-Warrior. When we first discovered it at Azizla, it was in far worse state than it is now. Different color too. As for its intended purpose, we believe it was developed to combat primals or similar threats. All of the parts deemed unnecessary have been removed, and we've made several adjustments to improve stability and overall safety. As a result, however, we had to limit its capabilities to some degree. We can't afford to repeat the mistakes made by the Garleans with the Ultima weapon, who we believe employed knowledge obtained from the Asians. After all, we knew how that ended. You might also be relieved to hear that Master Garland has introduced a pilot recognition system so that only those given prior permission by the Ironworks can operate it. Think of it as a precaution should the enemy get any idea stealing it from us. Inspect the head. The two sensors on the front of the head work in much the same way as the eyes of living creatures, sending visual information to the pilot. This horn-like protrusion was one of several additions we have made ourselves. It's for picking up link pearl signals, not for ramming the enemy. Still, if push comes to shove, I dare say it could be used to make a last-ditch attack. Arms. Compared to the original design, the outward appearance is largely the same, but we've carried out a number of improvements. The manipulators, or hands, you might call them, were originally created to claw at the enemy. We modified them to allow the use of various weapons, such as an ethereal saber. I'm glad you noticed. Boosters. Yeah. The boosters were built entirely by the Ironworks to allow for low-altitude flight and increased maneuverability. They're currently unsuited to being used over long distances. Hence the need to have the G-Warrior transported by airship. There is another area we've been hoping to improve in future iterations. Boosters, everything's been asked about. Okay, done.